Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Huber begins now.
Good evening. First tonight, a Victorian man has tested positive for COVID-19 before arriving in Hobart earlier today. Ainsley Kosh is outside the Fountainside Medi Hotel where the man is now in quarantine. Ainsley, what do we know so far?
Louise, contact tracers are scrambling to find the close contacts of this man after he arrived in Hobart while positive with the virus. Now, passengers on Virgin flight VA702 from Brisbane to Hobart will need to isolate immediately and contact public health, including anyone who was at the airport between 12:15 and 2:45 this afternoon. The man was intending to travel to Melbourne but was not allowed to board his plane after Queensland authorities found he had returned a positive test before leaving Brisbane. Now, of course, he remains at the Fountainside tonight, but we don't know how long he was out in the community. We have had only a small number of positive cases so far this year, but of course we will need to prepare for more as we open our borders next month, Louise.
All right, thanks for that, Ainsley. The Tasmanian Jack Jumpers have played their first preliminary NBL game under the glimmering lights of MyState Bank Arena. The Premier making no apologies for spending an extra $15 million on the facility for Tasmania to host world-class sport.
A sold-out crowd packed MyState Bank Arena to watch the Jack Jumpers play their first preliminary match on home soil.
Pretty exciting to be here.
Just good to see basketball back here in Tassie.
We're here for the Jackies, mate. We're so pumped for the Jackies.
Spectators were pumped up as each player took to the court, large screens capturing every angle.
We wanted something really special. We wanted it to be as big and as proud as we can be, and I think you'll love it when you get in there.
There were queues at the cafe, keen fans also lining up to buy new merch.
I like watching it and playing it.
I got myself a couple of t-shirts. Very excited to have the NBL back.
The $66 million facility was officially opened by the Premier today. Construction wrapping up a year earlier than planned, all in preparation for this moment. It's not just elite athletes who will benefit. Next year, a multi-use sports centre will open to the public.
That will have 4 courts for community use, plus additional courts for training, as well as some purpose-built elite training facilities as well.
The initial budget for this project blew out by $15 million, but the state government insists that hasn't come as a burden for the Tasmanian taxpayer.
What we found when we started to renovate this venue was that there was a greater investment that was required. And to be frank, I make no apologies for ensuring that we've got a world-class venue now at the finish.
Tasmanians can watch 5 teams play in the NBL Blitz this month for free before the Jack Jumpers season opener starts on December 3 against the Brisbane Bullets. Ainsley Kosh, 7 Tasmania News.
Authorities believe a Mayfield house was destroyed by a deliberately lit blaze. Fire crews were called to the unoccupied Eyre Street property just before midnight last night. Investigators returned this morning, determining it was likely the result of arson. The fire causing $200,000 worth of damage. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. A swarm of buzzing wasps on wheels took off through Hobart today on an 8-day journey around the state for a special cause. Riding on yellow and black bikes to Burnie and back, raising money for 3-year-old Eddie McDonald, who lives with pontocerebellar hyperplasia type 4, just one of 5 cases diagnosed in Australia. Eddie is confined to a wheelchair, his grandfather saying accessible transport will be needed as he grows up.
We're trying to raise money for a van with a wheelchair hoist. So at the moment he's still small enough to be able to lift it out of a car seat and put into his pram. Eventually he'll be too heavy. We need something we can just stay in the wheelchair. He can get to his therapies, he can get to the beach like everyone else.
I think this has really touched people's hearts. We've managed, especially a lot of the arts community, a lot of the shows we've rattled buckets at, and people have really dug deep and helped us out, and especially online as well.
The ride for Eddie will return to Hobart next Sunday, aiming to raise $85,000. Runners from the Just Like Jack charity have set off on their 8-day, 270-kilometre point-to-point-to Pinnacle challenge. The crew left Georgetown early this morning, taking just over 6 hours to reach Launceston. They'll finish their journey with the infamous Point to Pinnacle half marathon next Sunday. And here in Tasmania, it might be spring, but a cold snap has well and truly hit, with unusually low snowfalls expected. Rain, chilly conditions and snow as low as 200 to 400 metres are predicted, particularly in the south tonight and heading into tomorrow. Despite the cooler than average temperatures, it's too warm for the snow to settle in lower areas.
It's certainly very low snow levels for this time of year. Snow is not unusual through spring in Tasmania, but to these low levels, particularly this late in spring, is quite an unusual situation.
The cooler weather is expected to stick around this week. The Governor of Tasmania has opened the doors of Government House for members of the public to explore its grand staterooms. After several months in the job, Barbara Baker showed locals and 7 Tasmania News her favourite spaces in her new home.
Alongside 2 proud pooches, Tasmania's 29th Governor and husband Professor Don Chalmers welcoming in locals.
It is amazing how many people have introduced themselves to me who I've known from the past. So it is a wonderful opportunity also to meet new people who don't have the opportunity normally to come to Government House.
Looking over Hobart since 1857, the elegant neo-Gothic sandstone building stretching 110 metres long. Part of Open House Hobart, guests today walking on the hue and pine floors of the stunning ballroom, featuring chandeliers, glass windows and 3 gigantic mirrors, the largest in the Southern Hemisphere when installed in 1858.
The opulence of the place perhaps is eye-opening, but yes, it's a good thing for all Tasmanians that they've opened the opportunity for us to come and have a look.
Just really interested to see the place. I haven't had an opportunity to come out and thought that, I'd love to see how, see what the place looked like inside, and it's been quite spectacular.
Close by, a tiny 5x5 metre French room with detailed decorated walls and ceilings. Then taking a look at the grand dining room, the Australian cedar and mahogany table with Gothic Revival walnut chairs, able to host up to 34 diners. One of many favourites of the Governor in the role since June, saying she feels at home at number 7 Lower Domain Road.
No, we've settled in really well, thank you. The staff have been wonderful and we've very much enjoyed our time so far, meeting lots of people and supporting lots of community groups.
A new shop now open, selling local produce and wine made from grapes grown at Government House, with all money made going towards careful heritage maintenance. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
The Jack Jumpers have finally stepped onto the court, but they missed out on a dream win in the NBL Blitz debut against the Brisbane Bullets. A sold-out crowd at MyState Bank Arena were treated to some high-flying dunks, but it was poor shooting that brought them back down to earth.
The first bucket in the refurbished MyState Bank Arena took a long time to fall before Sam McDaniel became the eventual scorer of the first points in Jack Jumpers' colours.
Likes that one from the elbow.
But Josh Adams was soon firing on all cylinders, connecting with Josh Majette.
The backdoor cut.
And then hitting from deep.
The Bullets been a little sloppy at the offensive end of the floor. And it's hurting them. From a long way out, Josh Adams.
The Jack Jumpers with a 5-point lead at the end of the first quarter. The tight tussle continued into the second while Adams kept up his acrobatics.
Adams beats the trap. Oh, what? What?
It was the Jack Jumpers' hustle which kept them in the game, winning the offensive rebound battle 12-6, leading to 13 second chance points. 24 turnovers forced, only making 9 themselves. However, poor shooting plagued them, going 10 of 35 from beyond the arc. Scores were tied with only 5 minutes remaining, but the Jack Jumpers could muster only 2 more from there. The Bullets making big shots and pouncing on loose passes.
Has his pass chopped off by Patterson.
Eventual winners 89 to 79. Adams, Tasmania's top scorer with 18, while an impressive Mikhail McIntosh added 13 from the bench.
Weeks throws it up for McIntosh.
The Jack Jumpers' next challenge facing Cairns on Tuesday night. The Taipans also losing today, having faced Adelaide in the second game of the doubleheader. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening everyone. Showers statewide today with Hobart reaching 16 degrees and Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all 14. Friendly Beaches, the state's top today of 18 degrees, 15 in St Helens, Flinders Island, Wynyard and Grove all 14 and 12 in Strawn. A frontal cloud band can be seen crossing Tasmania today with cold speckled cloud in its wake. Further out, that frontal cloud band is also crossing Victoria, while a cloud band with embedded thunderstorms extends from the Northern Territory to New Zealand. Tomorrow, a trough lies to the east of Tasmania, while the high has moved south of the Bight. Southwesterly winds 25 to 30 knots tomorrow, reaching up to 30 to 40 knots over all but the southwest. Swells in the west and south reaching 4 to 6 metres. There is a gale warning current for all coastal waters, except the southwest coast where a strong wind warning is in place, including southeast inshore waters. A road weather alert is current for snow-covered roads in parts of the state with elevated roads, a bushwalkers alert for the Western and Central Plateau forecast districts, and a warning to sheep graziers for all districts. Showers and 11 in Hobart tomorrow, Dover and Ouse both 10 degrees. Launceston and Scottsdale 13 and cloudy, possible showers and 13 in Devonport. 11 degrees in Burnie tomorrow, 12 in Strawn, windy and 13 in Stanley. And in the east 14 in St Helens, 12 in Swansea and a shower or 2 and 11 in Ross. And the UV tomorrow is high across the state with sunrise expected at 5:41 a.m. Looking on to Tuesday, showers about the west, far south and central areas, fine elsewhere. Light showers about the west and far south on Wednesday. And on Thursday, showers more frequent about the west, south and central areas. Showers in Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow, 12 in Canberra, Sydney 23, sunny and 30 in Brisbane and 37 in Darwin. And currently Hobart and Devonport both 9 degrees and partly cloudy and 10 in Launceston. And Lou, looks like winter's trying to stick around for just a little bit longer.
It certainly is. I really hope summer comes very soon. That's all your news for now. Thanks so much for joining us this weekend. Kim and the team will see you tomorrow. Good night.